he wanted to take a picture with the Tesla, and his reasoning was that they don't, or he personally doesn't see those types of car where he is in Wolverhampton. So he he did have a preconception, but his preconception, and for me, I guess as a positive, was that because I support Tottenham, and is it an affluent club, I guess, or whatever, perceived to be an affluent club, London, whatever, that I'm going to be this affluent guy that potentially, could be the owner of this Tesla. And my colour didn't come into that in that situation. So that that train of thought didn't even cross my mind at the time. And I feel, I feel personally that I'm quite lucky in the majority of the experiences that I have in my life. That it's mainly positive rather than negative. But it was just interesting that seeing that story by that person on Twitter, probably maybe less than a week after a conversation that I had with my wife about acceptance within society and us believing that we're in a better place than we actually are. Where I feel that actually the where we are in society is masked or protected by the behaviours of people that could potentially be abused.
Well, maybe there's a beautiful parallel there, which you've picked up on. So, if a guy from a part of the country that doesn't see many nice cars wants to go and have pictures taken with them, then perhaps people from parts of the country where they don't get to interact with many LGBT people, rather than abusing them, should go and get pictures taken with them. And actually, then actually, what we won't think is that when somebody comes and talks to us about our shirt, or a car, that they're going to abuse us for one reason or another. Actually, what they want is a picture and to have a chat. So maybe there's a beautiful parallel there. And my mind is still wired to the worst case scenario, and your mind is wired to a better case scenario.
Yeah, and that's we're probably shaped by our experiences. That because there's someone else I speak to. I'm not gonna say who it is and why, but they always see the worst in people.
Mm-hmm.
Always, that is how they're hardwired, to see the worst in people. And I generally look for the best in people first, until you give me a reason to find the worst in you.
Okay.
We always have this discussion, and he says, this person says, well, you're stupid. You should not have this. You should not have this outlook. This is not the right way. So, but that's just, I don't know. That's just how I am.
Yeah, you're a glass half full kind of guy, and that's great.
I like to think so. And my glass is currently half full. So
and mine is 2/3 empty. So that's just me.
Fantastic. Okay. Let's move on. Okay, so we've got probably just over a week left, I think, in the transfer window. Yeah. I'm not sure the exact dates for when it shuts, to be honest. I don't really keep my finger on the pulse so much with that, especially because we've done most of our business already. So we've got rid of Lo Celso, and yes, Simon Dembele has gone. He was on the bench. He was on the bench yesterday for Napoli. Apparently, the Napoli manager is really impressed with him, with his outlook, his desire, everything. So happy days. Hopefully he does enough to secure a permanent move at the end of this loan, because it would be best, I think, for all parties.
100%.
Looks like we're looking to ship Hill out on loan to Valencia, which I think is a shame. I think if we're going to if he's going to go back on loan to Spain, then I think we might as well just sell him back to Spain, because it just clearly means that is the environment that is probably best for him, rather than trying to bring him into an environment that would enhance his ability to play in the Premier League. So, I mean, you know, with all these players going out, Conte's quoted as saying that, you know, if we have players going out, we need to bring players in. So, what are your thoughts? Because there's that guy, I won't try and say his name, but the guy in Atalanta scored a cracker apparently yesterday. That's that we're still being linked with. No, Mikalenko or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Ruslan, and he apparently he liked a Spurs tweet the other day. So the whole fan base has gone absolutely.
It's on.
You know, they've gone batshit crazy. Apparently, we're in talks with Anthony Gordon, who I think would be a good buy. But my question would be, you know, what, you know, he's, I know Everton are probably potentially going to struggle this season, but at Everton, he's a first team starter. He starts every game. You know, he's a regular. He'll start every game. So, does he want to play, or does he want to hopefully win? Well, there's no guarantees for winning stuff. Yeah. But does he want to play, or does he want to go somewhere else and potentially be a little fish in a big pond? But if he goes, does that? I mean, I don't know if you know. I would ask you if you didn't know that Dembele had gone. So I'm not sure you'll know. But has Dele already signed for Besiktas? Because if Gordon goes, then would he? Would that not give Dele an opportunity to stake a claim back in the team?
Good question. I've got no idea. I don't know whether that's come off or not. I haven't followed it at all, if I'm honest.
Okay.
I'm
not sure. Yeah, no, I'm like you. I'm not sure. And I did follow it before because I did kind of feel it was unfortunate, and I don't really want to dwell on Dele too much because he's no longer a Spurs player. But it just feels like a really rapid and steep decline from where he was to where he is now. You know, scrabbling around for moves just to try and get get game time, because he can't get game time based on the move where he was. You know, and something needs to be. You know, he needs to really take stock and try and address that. You know, wherever that is, whether that's at Besiktas or whether that's at Everton. You know, I still think he was a quality player, and it's a shame to see how his career's kind of nosedived.
Absolutely. I think Lee and Dodds were talking about this on the preview pod that went out the weekend, which is, you know, his decline is sad, and nobody can really put a finger on why that is. There's lots of possible reasons, but
I'm sure he can put a finger on it. I'm sure he can. If he was to look at himself honestly, if he was to take a step back and look at himself honestly, he'd be able to say, it's like, you know,
this is
too much.
Wrong.
Yeah, too much bollocking around on Fortnite or, you know, whatever. You know what I mean? He should be able to reflect, and, like, you know, when he looks back on his career, he should be able to reflect and go, well, that's where it kind of fell apart, you know. But you know, that's for another day, and possibly for an Everton pod. So,
somewhere.
not for us. Not for us. So okay, so I don't know if you saw.
So the window shuts at 11 p.m. BST for our international listeners. 11 p.m. BST on the 1st of September. So there's still another week to go, and if we're shipping players out, I still think that leaves room, as you say, to bring players in. Not for any other reason. I know Conte is saying this is what he wants, but also because after they got their big business done at the beginning of the window, it was kind of rumoured that other things had to move around. We were going to kind of go back into the classic Tottenham way, which is the jigsaw puzzle of moving players out to bring players in to shape the money around. Yeah, and everyone kind of was relaxed about that because they'd done 5 signings. Was it 3 or 4 at the beginning and another 1 or 2 as they've gone through? So the window itself has been pretty good. So if there's, you know, the last minute trolley dash, you know, around the transfer market in the final week, people aren't going to lose their shit over it as much as they would have if we hadn't done half as much as we have done, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's kind of fair enough, and that's why I suppose we got the 100-odd million.
Still burning a hole in our pockets.
They're still burning a hole in our pockets. Well, it's for that, and also it's for other things. They did say that some of it, or a large chunk of it, will go on the squad, and some of that obviously gets absorbed into, I suppose, wages and certain other fees rather than the headline figure. But there's other capital expenditure that the club want to make, and I guess they wanted a bit of money to shore that up.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be quite nice if part of that 150 million went on securing a new contract for Harry Kane and for Mr. A. Conte as well, which would be...
There you go. And those are sorts of things that might well be in the mix. But it depends on how they've structured that information, that money. There might be other capital projects where that money is going to go to then free up operational money to do the things that you've just mentioned, because that can come out of cash flow. But if you want to build another, something or other at the training centre, you actually just need 20 million in cash to do it.
Yeah.
But today, to give to the builders type thing. You go down the HSBC with a big caveat bag, swiveling it in.
We cannot surely do our business by giving 20 million in cash to the builders.
Oh, mate, it's all right. They're all Enfield boys. They trust me, mate. Don't worry. Yeah.
A cool 20 mil. Just pop that into my back pocket. So just I don't know if you saw today. I don't know if it was quite fairly late in the afternoon, but Mo Salah has spoken, and apparently in the shake-up will be Liverpool, City, Chelsea, and Arsenal at the end of the season. So I was quite pleased by I didn't see a lot of reaction because I don't generally kind of trawl through all of Twitter. I just kind of look at the top bit these days, and then generally I look at my notifications. So I've got no notifications and I've got no interest in Twitter, so it's fine.
But digging through it.
Yeah, but I did see one response that was that person was pleased which is what I am. I'm fairly pleased. I'd like for other teams to be the focus of the attention. I'm not sure that I want Spurs to be the focus of attention.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, but it's funny though, because then by saying that, it becomes a focus of attention because then, as you say, some people they go, well, why didn't you mention Tottenham? Honestly, it's a bit of. I think I saw something that there's a bit of kind of elbow digging there, because he's still a bit miffed that he didn't get the golden boot solo. He still feels, I think, he underperformed last season a bit. I don't think that's fine if he doesn't rate or respect us. Doesn't really bother me.
I heard, sorry, Simon, I will get you to go into continue your tirade against him. But I heard that someone said, "Oh, he's still bitter that we didn't sign him in 2012," and I didn't realise we were ever in for him. I know we've been in for every player, but I didn't really specifically stand out for me.
Yeah, I'm sure his medals and trophies make him really bitter about that.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure he's furious. But this is my point. So I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. I don't, asking opposition players what they think, asking our players what they think, it's just nonsense. I can't be bothered with it. So no, I didn't see it either. But I would imagine that there's a bit of just elbow bullshit going on.
Okay, good stuff. We have, if we're not on the hour, we're very close. We're either on the hour or we've maybe just gone past the hour. So I think it's a good opportunity just to to wrap it up. So we've got Notts Forest coming up on Sunday. So it's a 4:30 kickoff on Sunday. What are your thoughts about them? Because I think they've started fairly well, to be fair, and their manager is fucking decent. He's a really good coach, to be fair. So how are we feeling about that one?
Well, let's have a look. Let's